All right, everyone. These are cast iron wall hangers. They have little hooks in them that hang. Coach, do you think I can reproduce them out of aluminum? Do a little sand casting with some green sand that we made just a few months back, a few weeks back maybe. Check out the older video. Let's see what we can do. All right, I'm B from Our Dream, Our Purpose. And I have these little wall hangers here. We're going to try their cast iron. They're smooth on one side. We're going to actually try to cast these in sand. Going to use some green sand that we made just a few weeks ago. Check that video out. It shows you how we made this and how we re-energized some Petrobond sand. I made a little box here, and when I say a box, I actually put a bottom on it. And what we'll do is we'll actually put these inside just like this. Line them up like that, and then I'll actually pack it with sand, put another piece on top here, flip it over, take this off, and then take these out. I'm actually not going to do a two-part box on this one because the back surface really doesn't matter, so I just want to see. It's really two-dimensional. It's not that, it's three-dimensional, but it's that back is not important. And I want to try the sand out and see how it does. So let's get to it and see how it goes. Come a little closer. Let me show you how we do this. I am a little worried right in here, but if we can get most of the sand to stay, because it's tight fitting, if we can get the sand to stay in there enough, then I can actually clean it out. So I'm not too overly worried about it, but let's see how it goes.
As I'm putting the sand down, you want to make sure you get the finest sand you can down first on the object. Gives a better texture, better finish to what you're molding. And then as you see me tamping this down, you have to pack that sand down. It's critical. If you don't, it's going to move, it's going to shift, it's going to fall out. So you want to pack that as tight as you can, and then just keep filling it until it's completely full. Now you see me putting this wood bottom on. What this does is hold the sand in place. Some people are able to pick it up, move it around. The sand does not come out. Maybe mine's too thin, not sure. Just different ones that I've used. Struggle with that. But I'll take this as the bottom that we had on there off, and you'll be able to see what I have there.
Basically what I'm doing here is I'm pulling the sand away from the edges. I can clean that up, so I'm not worried about that. What I like to do, tap it. You can see real close how it's moving a little bit there. Just trying to free it from the sand and making sure it gets a good indentation. What I didn't bring is I could have actually ran the hooks in there and pulled it out, but I know I have these screw holes here. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, let's see. See if we can get this one out. Looks pretty good. So I'm happy with how this turned out. So it's not perfect, but I think I can clean it up. So I'm going to leave it up here. I'll actually clear this stuff off, and we'll get the forge in here, start melting some aluminum. Won't take a lot to melt these, but I'll pour them right in there. Use a smaller one, a little better control, and let's see how it does. All right.
So as I pull everything out to get set up, you'll see me, if you've ever seen any of my other videos, I always try to get the forge up and going first. Allow it time to warm up while I'm pulling the other tools out, just trying to be efficient at it. So that's what I'm doing here, just hooking up the propane and going to get this up and running. I have to leave a comment about the first time starting it up. The flames anytime before I add the air mixture to it is just great to see on camera. Just put my gloves on so I can actually use the tongs to put the crucible in, start melting some of the aluminum. Then I'm just going to get in some tools, laying out my stones, my blocks. It's really just trying to get everything set up and prepped ahead of time so when the aluminum's melted, I can actually do the pour successfully.
Clean that off. Put it back in, let it warm just a little more so I can also warm the small mold. And the reason being is if I have too much, I want to be able to pour back in it, but you need to get warm. You need to warm them up to eliminate any moisture that's in those.
So as I pour this, you can see I have to pour it down so it actually forces the aluminum through the entire mold. But it will heap up and over. That's the one negative about trying to do an open pour like this. It often happens. But I'm trying to get it poured the best I can, see how it turns out, and you'll get to see that here shortly. I also had a little bit of extra, as I anticipated I would. You'll see I'll pour a small little bar here as well, just to use up what I have. So when I do this pour, I've not seen anybody else do this actual type pour. I'm pouring through the wood, and the intention is to get a flat surface. Yes, it will, as you can see here, will burn the wood. I don't reuse the wood. I just have a surplus of it, so it works. It's real thin plywood. But I'm pouring it in here. It does just like a sand pour. It spreads around. And then I had some extra, so I'll pour a little bar here shortly.
All right, a little different scenery. What we did is we did some pours. You saw the one where I cast it in the sand, I poured it, it overflowed, so it made it thicker, but a little too much overflow. So what I'm going to do is try to clean some of this up, see how it turns out. You'll see me drilling. I'm actually going to drill so the originals have holes here and here, mount to the wall, and have little hooks that go in here. So I'm going to drill these out first so I can actually drill it to the wood, use that as a base, and then try to work from there. So, and then what you also saw afterwards, I did a second. You didn't see me cast it, but what I did is I cast it the same way I did the very first one. But when I turned it over, instead of leaving it open to where I poured into it, I put a piece of wood over that, drilled holes, so I just poured through the wood. Yes, the wood caught on fire. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But it allowed me a flat surface on the back, not a lot of overpour, a little bit here and there. It should be easier to clean up. So we're going to give it a shot and see. Probably do one of each of these, and then might actually paint a little bit and then get it put on. So let's get to it. I'll bring you a little closer though.
So what I'm doing here starting off is there's actually mounting holes that you mount these to the wall. So I'm drilling those out first, and the reason being is so I can actually screw them down to this wood just to help hold them. Clean them up with the wire brush, and now I'm using a cut-off wheel on the grinder just to try to clean some of the excess off. Doing the same on the second one as well.
All right, you see me make a mess here. Really what I wanted to do was see if I could clean up each of these. One was a thinner one. One's a lot thicker. Still got some to take off there. So it's a little difference in the thickness, but this will still mount to the wall, not a big deal. It's just how tough, it's a little tougher to clean up. So we'll get to the sander. I'll clean these up, and then I'll bring you back after we've cleaned up a little bit and show you how they turned out. All right.
Here I'm using a belt sander to get the back as smooth as I can on each of them. The one was real easy. The second one was just a thicker one. And I'm using a smaller belt sander just to try to clean up around the edges, around the top of it, really around the barrel. On the thin one went really smooth. The thick one, there was a lot of work to do. So just trying to clean it up a little bit, make it look more presentable, get the extra aluminum pour off. So here I'm actually drilling out where the little key holders are. I'm drilling and tapping the holes so I can actually put screws in with a little nut on it to hold them in place. So it took a little while to go through this. They're very small, and I didn't want to break the tap, so I just took my time, get them cleaned up, and show you how they turned out.
All right, we're back. I got some of these cleaned up, did a little bit. So what I want to show you, we started off with these, and what this was this is a cast iron pistol that hangs on a wall. It's a keychain holder is what it is. So it hangs on a wall, holds keychains. We took these out and thought I'd try to cast it, is really what I was doing. Made a sand mold. I just did the bottom half. I didn't do the top part. I just did the bottom. And in doing that, I ended up the first go around, ended up with this. It gave a decent mold, but I had a lot of overpour. And reason is it wasn't flowing over to the side like it should have, so I poured extra to get it to that side. But there's a lot of work. And I took that. After the first pour, I thought, well, let me do a second one really quick, see if we could. And what I did with the second one is I did the same thing. I casted it, but then I put a board over top. You've seen me do that before. I put a board over the top of it. Yes, it'll burn the board, but it actually still allowed me a flatter surface, a thinner pour on the back. You still see some of this flashing extra, and then you'll have the holes in the back. So I cleaned those up. I want to leave these so I can show you here at the end. The first one we did with the thickness, you can see it's pretty thick on the back side compared to the original one. Okay, it's a difference in the thickness. Because this was the overpour, poured thicker, sanded a little bit up off the back, cleaned it up a little bit. Actually drilled and tapped. I didn't talk about it, but you should have saw me drill and tap these so we could put these. I put screws in there. A little nut to hold it in place, and then we can actually hang it on the wall, and it can hold keychains, just like the original. The second one cleaned up a lot easier because of the thin on it. I was able to clean off the back real easy and clean this up. So I think the overall form of the gun itself turned out good. It held, this one held better, but we'll keep trying. Just wanted to bring some of these up, show you what we made. Try to motivate you guys to try something if you like doing it. Maybe it's melting, maybe it's anything else. But leave it in comments, some of the things you like to do. Just get out there and try it, have fun with it, enjoy it. That's what I'm doing, I'm learning too. So if you see any things I could have done different, let me know. Anything you saw me do right, let me know. Just always trying to improve. We'll keep doing that. And thank you guys very much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you see whenever we put a video out. All right? Thanks for watching.